Your automatic transmission isn't dying because your car is getting old. I need you to hear that. I see it constantly. People with 120,000 miles on their car, staring at a $4,500 transmission repair estimate, convinced this is just what happens when cars age, like transmissions have an expiration date stamped on them from the factory. That's not how it works. Your transmission is dying because of small habits you repeat every single day. Habits that quietly cook the fluid, smash the clutch packs, and grind internal components into metal shavings. You do not feel it happening. There is no warning light that says you are killing me. It just silently accumulates day after day, mile after mile, until one morning you feel that first slip, that first harsh shift, that weird delay when you press the gas. By the time you take it to the shop, you are looking at a rebuild or replacement that costs more than some people's entire car is worth. Here is the worst part. Most people cause this damage without ever realizing they are doing anything wrong. They think they are driving normally. They think they are taking care of their car. Meanwhile, they are doing 3 or 4 things on this list every single day. So in this video, I am breaking down 21 stupid mistakes that destroy automatic transmissions early, and the simple habit changes that keep yours shifting smooth for 200,000, 300,000, even 400,000 miles. Whatever you do, do not skip mistake number 6. That one kills transmissions even in cars with bulletproof reputations. I have seen it take out Toyotas, Hondas, and trucks that people say never break, all because of one driving habit people do not think twice about. Let's get into it. Mistake 21st, believing lifetime transmission fluid. Let's start with a lie that has probably cost more transmission rebuilds than any other piece of misinformation. If your owner's manual says lifetime fluid or sealed transmission, no service required, you need to translate that correctly. What they actually mean is the lifetime of the warranty, not the lifetime of the car. Manufacturers are not in the business of making sure your car lasts 300,000 miles. They are in the business of making sure it lasts through the warranty period without costing them money. After that, they would actually prefer if you bought a new car. Here's what happens to transmission fluid over time. Heat breaks it down. Every time your transmission shifts, it generates heat. Every time you sit in traffic, it generates heat. Every time you tow something or drive in hot weather, it generates more heat. As the fluid degrades, it loses the friction modifiers that allow smooth clutch engagement. Shifts get harsher. Harsher shifts generate more heat. More heat breaks down the fluid faster. The failure snowball has started, and most people do not even notice until it is too late. The fix. If you actually want your transmission to last, do drain and fill service on a schedule, typically every 30,000 to 60,000 miles, depending on your driving conditions. Do not wait until the transmission starts slipping and begging for help. By then, you are already doing damage control, not maintenance. Mistake number 20, never warming the car up properly. No, you do not need to sit in your driveway idling for 10 minutes like it is 1985. Modern engines do not need that, but the opposite extreme is just as bad. Hopping in, starting the car, and immediately driving like everything is at operating temperature is a mistake. It is not, and your transmission knows it. Cold automatic transmission fluid, often called ATF, is thicker than warm fluid. It does not flow as easily through the valve body. It does not provide the same hydraulic pressure. It does not lubricate as effectively. When you demand hard shifts from a cold transmission, those shifts hit harder than they should, stressing clutch packs and bands that are not fully protected yet. The fix is simple. Start the car. Give it 20 to 30 seconds for oil pressure to build and for fluids to start circulating. Then drive gently for the first few minutes. No hard acceleration, no demanding kickdowns. Let everything warm up together. Your transmission will pay you back with years of smooth operation. Mistake number 19, shifting from reverse into drive while moving. This is one of the fastest ways to shock load your transmission, and people do it every single day without thinking. You are backing out of a parking spot. You are still rolling backward, maybe just barely, but still moving, and you jam the shifter into drive because you are in a hurry. When you do that, you are forcing the transmission to instantly stop the car's momentum and engage forward motion at the same time. The internal components are not designed for that kind of shock load. You are essentially asking the transmission to act as a brake while also engaging the forward clutches. That jolt you feel is stress traveling through gears, clutch packs, and shafts. Do it once, probably fine. Do it twice a day for 5 years, and you have just added tens of thousands of stress cycles that your transmission did not need to experience. The fix: stop completely. Wait 1 full second, then shift. It takes almost no extra time, and it eliminates an entire category of unnecessary wear. Mistake number 18, using the gas pedal to hold the car on a hill. This one drives me crazy because it is so common and so unnecessary. You are on a slight incline at a drive-through or in traffic. Instead of using the brake, you hover on the gas pedal to keep the car from rolling backward. You are essentially holding the car in place with engine power fighting against gravity. What is actually happening inside the transmission? You are creating what is called micro-slipping. The torque converter or clutch packs are partially engaged and constantly fighting to hold position. That friction generates heat. That heat accumulates. And you are doing this for what? To save yourself the effort of pressing a different pedal. The fix is simple. Use your brake. That is literally what it is designed for, holding the car stationary. Your brake pads are cheap and easy to replace. Your transmission is not. Mistake number 17. Ignoring tiny leaks. It is just a small drip. I will keep an eye on it. Famous. Last words before a transmission rebuild. ATF leaks do not stay tiny. They grow. And while they are growing, your fluid level is dropping. Low fluid means low hydraulic pressure. Low fluid means the clutches cannot engage fully. Partial engagement means slipping. And slipping is how a transmission cooks itself from the inside out. Here is the thing about transmission damage from low fluid. It is not gradual and linear. You might drive for months with a small leak and everything seems fine. Then one day, usually the hottest day of the year, or when you are towing something or stuck in traffic, the fluid gets too low. The clutches slip badly, and you have just done hundreds of dollars of internal damage in a single drive. The fix: if you see red or reddish-brown spots under your car, do not monitor it. Find the source and fix it. Common leak points are the pan gasket, cooler lines, and axle seals. Catching a $150 leak repair saves you from a $3,000 rebuild. Mistake number 16. Driving with a bad engine misfire. Your transmission does not operate in isolation. It receives power from the engine, and it expects that power to be smooth and consistent. When your engine is misfiring, whether from a bad spark plug, a failing coil pack, a fuel injector issue, or anything else, the power delivery becomes erratic. The transmission's computer sees inconsistent input and does not know how to respond correctly. You end up with weird shifting, gear hunting, harsh engagement, and extra stress on components that are trying to adapt to power that keeps surging and dropping. I have seen people drive for months with a misfire, ignoring the check engine light, and then blame the transmission when shifting gets weird. The transmission was a victim, not the cause. The fix is simple. Handle misfires early. Spark plugs are cheap. Coil packs are reasonable. Oxygen sensors are manageable. What is not manageable is transmission damage caused by months of driving with an engine that could not deliver clean power. Mistake number 15. Neutral dropping at lights. Some drivers have convinced themselves that shifting into neutral at every red light saves the transmission. Less stress, right? Giving it a break? Wrong. You are actually doing the opposite. Every time you shift from drive to neutral and back to drive, you are forcing an engagement cycle. Clutches engage. Clutches disengage. Clutches engage again. You are adding wear cycles that would not exist if you just left it in drive and held the brake. Modern automatic transmissions are designed to sit in drive at idle. The torque converter handles that load effortlessly. By shifting in and out of gear constantly, you are creating work where none was needed. The fix: leave it in drive at red lights. Hold the brake like a normal person. Save the shifter movement for when you actually need to change direction. Mistake number 14, not using the parking brake on hills. When you park on an incline and just slam the shifter into park without using the parking brake, you are putting your car's entire weight, 2 tons or more, on a small metal part inside the transmission called the parking powel. The parking powel is designed as a backup, not the primary load bearer. When you dump all that weight on it, you stress it every single time. That is why some cars seem stuck when you try to shift out of park on a hill. The powel is under so much pressure, it does not want to release. Do this repeatedly over years, and you risk damaging or even breaking the powel. When it fails, your car can roll away. That is a bad day. The fix: first, hold the brake. Next, engage the parking brake. Let the car settle onto the parking brake, and only then shift into park. Now the parking brake is holding the weight, and the powel is just a backup doing minimal work. Mistake number 13, flooring it while the transmission is still cold. We already talked about cold fluid not flowing properly. Now let's talk about what happens when you demand maximum performance from a cold transmission. When you floor it from a cold start, you are asking for aggressive downshifts and maximum hydraulic pressure from fluid that is thick and sluggish. The pressure spikes are higher than they should be, and the shifts hit harder than they should. The stress on internal components is multiplied. You might get away with it most of the time, but every aggressive cold start adds wear that would not happen if you just waited a few minutes. The fix is simple. Drive gently for the first few minutes until everything reaches operating temperature. Save the spirited driving for when your car is actually ready for it. Mistake number 12, towing without proper setup. Towing is one of the hardest things you can ask an automatic transmission to do. The extra weight means the engine works harder, which means the torque converter works harder, which means more heat. Hills make it worse. Hot weather makes it worse. Stop-and-go traffic while towing makes it dramatically worse. If you regularly tow heavy loads without accounting for the extra thermal stress, you are accelerating transmission wear significantly. The fluid breaks down faster, the clutches wear faster, and failure comes sooner. The fix: if you tow often, consider adding an auxiliary transmission cooler. They are relatively inexpensive and dramatically reduce operating temperatures. Also, shorten your fluid change intervals when towing regularly. What might be a 50,000-mile interval for normal driving should become a 25,000 to 30,000-mile interval if you are towing frequently. Mistake number 11, driving with a dirty transmission cooler. Your transmission does not air cool itself through the case. It relies on a cooler, either integrated into the radiator or a separate unit to shed heat. If that cooler is blocked, if airflow is restricted by debris or a damaged fan shroud, or if it is coated with road grime and bug residue, cooling efficiency drops. Temperatures climb, and as we have established, heat is the transmission's worst enemy. The fix is simple. Keep your cooling system healthy. Make sure the radiator and cooler have clear airflow. Clean debris from the front of the radiator periodically. If you notice transmission temperatures running higher than normal, investigate the cooling system before you investigate the transmission itself. Mistake number 10, power flushing a neglected transmission. This is where well-meaning people can make a bad situation worse. You have a high-mileage transmission that has never been serviced. The fluid is dark. Shifts are getting a little rough. You decide it is finally time to take care of it, so you take it to a shop, and they recommend a power flush to get all that old fluid out. Here is the problem. If your transmission has been neglected for 150,000 miles, there is debris and sediment that has settled throughout the system. A high-pressure flush can dislodge that debris and send it to places it should not go. It can push debris into valve bodies, clutch packs, and small passages. You can actually cause a neglected transmission to fail by cleaning it too aggressively. The fix is simple. On high mileage, neglected transmissions, do gentle drain and refill cycles instead of aggressive power flushes. Drain what comes out easily, refill with fresh fluid, drive for a while, and then repeat. You are gradually diluting the old fluid without shocking the system. Mistake number 9. Using the wrong transmission fluid. A TF is not all the same. This is not like windshield washer fluid, where close enough is good enough. Different transmissions are engineered for different fluid specifications. The friction modifiers, viscosity, and additive packages are specific to how that transmission's clutches and valve body are designed to operate. Wrong fluid can cause slipping because the friction characteristics do not match what the clutches expect. It can cause harsh shifts because the hydraulic properties are not correct. It can cause overheating because the thermal characteristics are different. Long-term, it causes premature wear throughout the entire unit. The fix: use the exact specification your car requires, not compatible with, not close enough, but the actual spec. Check your owner's manual or the dipstick. When in doubt, buy fluid from the dealer for your specific vehicle. Mistake number 8. Riding the brake while driving. Some people drive with their left foot hovering over or lightly pressing the brake pedal at all times. They think it makes them ready to stop. What it actually does is create heat everywhere and add unnecessary load. Your transmission is trying to move the car forward while the brakes are fighting against it. The engine works harder. The torque converter works harder. The brakes overheat, and everyone loses. The fix: coast earlier. Drive smoother. When you want to slow down, lift off the gas and let the car decelerate naturally before applying the brakes. Less heat in the brakes, less heat in the transmission, less stress on everything. Mistake number 7. Ignoring shifting symptoms. A tiny jerk when shifting from first to second. A tiny delay when you press the gas. A tiny flare where revolutions per minute jump before the next gear engages. A tiny shudder at light throttle. People ignore these symptoms for months. People say it's not that bad, it still drives. Maybe it's just cold. By the time those tiny symptoms become it won't move, or it's stuck in one gear, you've moved from a potential $300 to $500 repair into a $3,000 or more rebuild. The fix: those first symptoms are your early warning system. They're telling you something is starting to wear, starting to slip, starting to fail. Get it diagnosed early. Sooner is always cheaper than later with transmission problems. Mistake number 6. Spinning tires, then catching traction hard. This is the one I told you not to skip. This mistake destroys transmissions faster than almost anything else on this list, and people do it without ever connecting it to transmission damage. Here is the scenario. You are stuck in snow, mud, gravel, or wet grass. Tires are spinning. You give it more gas, trying to power through. Suddenly, the tires catch traction. When that happens, the shock load is massive. Your engine was spinning the drivetrain freely against almost no resistance. Suddenly, there is full resistance. That instantaneous load spike travels backward through the drive shaft, into the transmission, and hammers the internal components. I have seen this kill transmissions in a single, stuck-in-the-snow incident. One aggressive spin and grab event can do more damage than 50,000 miles of normal driving. The fix is simple. Stop doing full throttle spin and pray. If you are stuck, use gentle throttle and let the tires find grip gradually. Rock the car gently. Use traction control. Dig yourself out if needed. Whatever you do, do not spin the tires to 5,000 revolutions per minute and hope for the best. If this is already saving you money, hit like and subscribe to Torque and Throttle. We post real-world tips that keep your car running longer, not dealership fairy tales designed to sell you a new car. Now, let's finish strong. Mistake number 5, shifting into park before you fully stop. Even a tiny amount of roll, barely perceptible movement while shifting into park can chip the parking powell and strain the mechanism. The powell is trying to engage a notched wheel that is still rotating. Metal hits metal. Something has to give. Usually it is the powell taking damage, one small chip at a time. The fix: full stop first, every single time. Make it automatic. Foot on the brake, car completely stationary, then shift to park. It takes 0 extra time, and it prevents completely unnecessary wear. Mistake number 4, launching hard every day. Your transmission can handle hard launches occasionally. It was engineered with some safety margin, but occasionally is not the same as every day, like you are at the drag strip. Hard launches spike pressure and temperature at the same time. The torque converter slams into lockup. Clutches engage under maximum load. Everything is stressed to its limits. Do this once a month? Fine, probably. Do this twice a day at every green light? You are compressing years of wear into months. The fix: save hard launches for rare moments when you actually need or want the performance. Your daily driving should be smooth and moderate. Your transmission should not dread your commute. Mistake number 3, letting the car creep for long periods. Heavy stop-and-go traffic creates a specific type of transmission stress that people do not think about. When you are constantly creeping forward, brake, release, creep, brake, release, creep. The torque converter is working overtime. It is never fully locked, and it is never fully disengaged. It is constantly slipping at low speed, generating heat, and wearing the internal clutch material. The fix is simple. Give yourself space from the car ahead. When traffic slows, let a gap develop so you can roll steadily instead of constant stop and creep. When you do stop, stop fully and let everything settle. Your transmission will run cooler in the same traffic just by changing how you manage following distance. Mistake number 2, never servicing the fluid until it is burnt. If your transmission fluid smells burnt, you have already lost the battle. That smell comes from friction modifiers that have broken down. That dark brown or black color is oxidation and clutch material contamination. The fluid that is supposed to protect your transmission is now actively contributing to its decline. The fix: service the fluid before it turns into burnt soup. Fresh automatic transmission fluid should be red or light pink and should have a slightly sweet smell. If the fluid is brown and smells burnt, you are already doing damage control. Establish a service interval and stick to it. Do not wait until your nose tells you there is a problem. Mistake number 1, ignoring overheating. This is the mistake that ties everything together, because heat is what kills transmissions. If your engine is overheating, your transmission is suffering too. Many vehicles share cooling paths, and the transmission cooler is often integrated into the radiator. When the engine overheats, the transmission cooling capacity is compromised. Automatic transmission fluid temperatures spike, seals get damaged, clutches burn. Even one significant overheating event can cause transmission damage that shows up weeks or months later. People fix their cooling system, think everything is fine, and then wonder why the transmission starts acting up. The damage was done during the overheat. It just took time to manifest. The fix: fix cooling issues immediately. Do not drive an overheating car just one more week or just until payday. Pull over and address it. The cost of a tow and a cooling system repair is nothing compared to the cost of a cooked transmission. So if you want your automatic transmission to last, genuinely last, well beyond what the manufacturer expects, your goal is simple. Reduce shock loads. Stop slamming between gears. Stop spinning tires and catching traction hard. Stop demanding maximum performance from cold components. Reduce heat. Service the fluid. Fix cooling issues. Do not tow without preparation. Drive smoothly. Keep the fluid clean. Do not believe the lifetime lie. Regular drain and fill service is the single best thing you can do for transmission longevity. Stop forcing the gearbox to do dumb things. It is not a toy. It is a complex precision mechanism that will serve you incredibly well if you just treat it with basic respect. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your car's year, make, model, and mileage in the comments. Tell me which mistake on this list you are quitting today. I will check the comments and help point you in the right direction if you have questions. And if you want the next video, I will break down the free reset tricks that fix rough idle, hesitation, warning lights, and weird shifting without spending a dime. Just knowledge. Like, subscribe, and stay locked in with Torque and Throttle. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.